Welcome to the Superfacts Show on the Superfacts Network. Featuring St. Laz, who also hosts the popular web series Gem Pop, and music journalist Mark Walter Ward. They have discussions about hip hop, culture, society, philosophy, and everything else. Now available on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts.
What up, world? It's your boy Mark Walter Ward, Superfacts Show, Superfacts Network. I'm gonna talk about 9/11 today. I I I I was in Virginia. I could feel it. I'd already started going to jail. Shoot, at this time I'd started drinking too much problematically because I remember we drank a lot that day. But I was working at the Park Authority in Fairfax County, and maybe it was one of the for parole probation. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I know I definitely already was balls deep in the incarceration cycle as you would. So anyway, I'm at this baseball field. We used to drag baseball fields, like for the dirt, so it'd be packed in with like this three-wheeler with a chain net behind it, or pump water out of it when it rained, so that they could still play games like out of the holes. It actually wasn't that bad of a job. I remember we used to be in a county dump truck smoking weed with the boss. They let us take naps. Shit was fantastic, actually. And you just drove around all day and go to a park. I mean, every now and then it'd be hard. You have to dig a ditch, but that's like for a dugout. But that's neither here nor there. So on 9/11, they dropped me off at this field, and I can't remember. I want to say it was dry, so I think I was dragging it, but I don't know. I might have been pumping water. But be that as it may, I was there by myself. And Fairfax, for those who don't know, is I don't know, less than 3 miles from the Pentagon, something like that. If you're in certain parts of Alexandria, the city we was in, if you're on the right part of the highway, you can definitely see the Pentagon from it. So I'm on the field by myself. I'm standing on the field. I think I had a cell phone that still had like the green screen with the numbers. I think I was talking to a girl or something, and all of a sudden it was just like this huge ass bang, and the ground shook. Then the park authority people, like the supervisors, they came around and picked us up, and they was all solemn and shit. And it was like two planes have hit the World Trade Center, and something happened at the Pentagon. And we went back to the little shop, and people was watching TV. And like this is the first time in my life, and at this point already, I done been in like a wild ass Southern jail, and seen people get their face cut, and seen people get shot, and caught cases for serious shit I didn't do, yada yada. I wasn't naive at all, but like this is the first time anything like really kind of felt surreal, and kind of shook me, to be real with you, because of all the things that I thought I had to worry about, like killer cops, racists and shit. Um, I didn't think I had to worry about terrorists. Like, that wasn't something that really was happening in my lifetime, and you had to be worrying about terrorists running up on you on the streets. And this, I live in the DC area. I mean, at that point, I live in Northern Virginia, but for most of my life up until then, I lived in Southern Maryland. I'd be in DC all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if they did some shit to the metro or something? That shit got scary. Like shit, like the DC sniper shit did. I should talk about that one day. But the other thing was that one of my other friends who ended up, because I ain't never learned to drive from being incarcerated or always living in cities with subways. One of my other friends gave me a ride to where I was living, and he had gone to Best Buy that day, and I only know the mechanism of this, but somehow he got the blueprint and Ghetto Fabulous. I don't know if the store's closed, or I don't know, but I remember like I didn't, for whatever reason. By the time I got off, I ain't have no chance to get it. So to further add to the surreality, on the way home, I'm listening to the Blueprint, which I consider the greatest rap album ever, for the first time, and the shit's just like amazing to me, you know. And the reason I think the Blueprint's the best album of all time over like some Scarface joints, some Tupac joints, Illmatic, is because of Song Cry. Like I feel like not too many people can make a song like Song Cry, and then it just the excellence all over, from the rulers back, takeover. I really like girls, girls, girls. When I called myself thinking I was like a little player or something before I got, I remember I used to listen to that shit like I was doing something. But that ain't neither here nor there. The heart of the city, ain't no love. Getting that I mean, I think I was a little bit aware of Kanye West, but that was the first time I really became aware of Kanye West as a producer and Just Blaze. And as a huge Dipset fan I am, Just Blaze would go on to have huge significance. And and then I remember Fabolous came out with an album that day, and it was his debut retail album, which at the time was different than how it is now on the streamers. And I ain't gonna lie, I was a little disappointed because he'd been killing it on them Clue tapes. Or like when people thought he was Mace, and then he had that song with Mace and Foxy on a Clue retail, and he was Fabulous Sport and all that. And I guess youngins don't know, but the legendary story of he went up there and they put him on the spot and he murdered a freestyle on live radio, which in New York at the time, if it isn't now, was like a super big deal. Like you get a record deal off that shit. I think. I mean, I don't know if Clue already had his situation, but Clue started his record label off that. And so to end it on a brighter note than 9/11, and I was a little disappointed in Fabulous first. I remember we did keep listening to that song. Y'all know who's keeping it gangster over and over. That day. I remember that one stood out. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that I was disappointed with Fabulous's the quality of the music. It was more like you could tell they were aiming for radio hits maybe. And while undoubtedly his verses were strong on them at that time, that wasn't what I was really shit. I was selling a lot of drugs at that time. So that wasn't what I was really trying to listen to. But then that being said, I feel that Mad or Fabulous discography is underrated. Street Dreams. I mean, the term classic thrown around too much, but man, I guarantee if you put the best 15 something, the album Real Talk, one of them had a bunch of Jeezy verses on it. I know that album go real hard, but if you put the best two songs, the best like 12 songs off those two albums, that'd be like one of the best rap albums ever. The Summertime Shootout series, definitely at least one of those is classic. The joint he did with Jada Kiss, the Loso's Way. Now that's a classic. People who don't know about the Loso's Way, look up that Loso's Way and listen to it. But then so I get home while I'm staying at, and this why this shit's so surreal. The Blueprint playing over and over on repeat, and we're all like moved by what he's saying and the beauty of the music and all that good stuff. But then we see in the 9/11 because this still before they stopped showing the people jumping out the buildings. And or like there was like I remember it was this one piece of footage they kept showing, and during the course of the footage you could hear bodies hitting the ground of cats who had jumped before the building started to collapse. So that was like super crazy. Like I guess my parents' generation has seen shit like that from Vietnam and stuff, but like up to that point I'd only seen shit like that in like Freddie and Jason movies and shit, speaking of Fab and Jada. But yeah, so that's my 9/11 memory, and like everything else is intrinsically tied to hip hop. So I figured why not talk about it? Everyone else is, and shit. Like I said, I'll never forget it, man. I felt you could feel the ground shake hard as a motherfucker. And like I said, I was about like I think if I remember correctly, 2.7 miles. I should have looked that shit up, but you could definitely feel the ground shaking. We went and looked at it. And I ain't getting no conspiracy shit or nothing, and I don't know what plane records look like, but yeah, I ain't seen no plane, but you just saw it. I don't think you could have anyway, because it was nothing but like mad smoke. You could see like mad smoke. I remember it was folk just stopped on the highway on this. See, I think it was 295, might have been 395. I ain't living in the DC area for so long, I forgot. But it was like this part where you could see it real good. And I remember it was like people parked on the shoulder and shit, like just looking at it, which was like unfathomable for that street. That's the only time I've ever seen that, unless somebody's car's parked down. That's definitely the only time I've seen multiple cars parked on the shoulder looking at something, because it's like a narrow ass road that's super busy and the shoulder ain't wide. Like just everything was out of kilter that day. And a lot of things that they talk about on the news and shit, or talking about, remember a time, or this is the point when things change. People talk about that, about the Kennedy assassination and everything. And in efficacy, things change. If nothing else, like how hard different it is at the airport and all that. But man, you could definitely feel it in the air. I ain't gonna say, like, like I said, I was selling mad drugs, and I wasn't Mr. All Society, so I ain't get all patriotic. I think I might already been a felon. Matter of fact, I think I was, because I remember thinking I was glad that if there was a war, I want to go to the draft. But and the people around me, they wasn't all patriotic either. Like, they wasn't rushing out to like go join the army or nothing. But I remember people feeling like that shit was fucked up. And I seen more people in my circle, which is less likely to be having like American flag stuff. That was like the only time I really seen a bunch of cats rocking American flag shit. And then for a while, we used to put American flag stickers on whips we rode dirty in, thinking that might get you a break from the police and might not get you pulled over. But I mean, I guess that's fucked up. Oh well. But yeah, that's my 9/11 memories. And shit, the Blueprint still, if not the best album ever, is definitely a classic. Super Facts Show, Super Facts Network. Make sure you look for the Super Facts Network Facebook page, like, rate, review, or whatever your DSP of choice is. And check out the YouTube channel, and you can holler at me anywhere at Mark Waldo Ward.